Greetings! I would like to share a very magical and enchanted nature walk with you. A group of beautiful goddesses and I gathered for a nature walk with Carrie Philpott in Depoe, Oregon. In the morning before our walk, in honor of the nature beings, I lit a candle next to my gnome. To my surprise, the crystal hanging in the window shined a brilliant rainbow on the gnome and candle. This was a sign from the nature beings that it was going to be a very magical day. We all wanted to set a sacred intent on our journey together. Carrie performed a smudge ceremony with sage to purify all the group. Carrie is laughing because someone had just made her sparkle all over with tossed sprinkles of glitter fairy dust. Jackie grabbed the dragon walking stick and thought she was ready to go. To her surprise, the pixies had been a bit naughty. They untied her shoelaces. This is the way they show they are round. She told me my shoes never come untied. As we came close to the entrance of the forest, we saw a mossy rock with faces emerging. When this happens, you are starting to see with higher consciousness. Carrie stopped before we entered the forest to give thanks and ask for permission to enter. The guardian trees acknowledged her. They are often at the entrance of a forest. As we started walking into the forest, we could see arches and knew there were fairy portals around.
Welcome to our fairy world.
This tree has many nature beings living in it. Can you see any? This photo was taken in different times. This other photo was taken the first time I went into the forest, and it shows these white, brilliant orbs coming out of the tree. Wow, look at all of the consciousness that lives there. Oh, the forest was so alive. As we came upon this tall fir tree, we were drawn to its beautiful magnificence. You can see the fairies in the top of the tree in white clusters. They are forming an F, which stands for fairies to show themselves. At the base of the tree, near its roots, I could see a face forming. The tree beings were starting to communicate. Can you see it? I have an arrow pointing to it. As we stood there, a raven in a nearby tree started cawing very loud. It became louder and very persistent. We knew we needed to stop and ask it what it was so upset about. Amy could hear its message. We are all to come together and do ceremony honoring the Native American Siletz tribe that had lived there. To give blessings, we sang together and gave cornmeal offerings. Afterwards, the raven was very silent. Diana was guided to go down into the roots of the tree. She sat inside for several minutes. When she came out, she was so altered. She heard the tree audibly talk to her with a thunderous but loving voice. It told her, "You are all love. We are here to be love. Remember that." Amy then heard them say, "Come touch our roots. We wish to give you healing energy." We all one by one went up to the tree and touched its roots. As I put my hands on the roots, a bolt of energy came from Father Sky above and shot through me. I did a chant and toned a very high-pitched sound. It was amazing. We then looked up and saw how the trees in the forest were all swaying together. It was a miracle. The energy was spellbinding. The forest was so happy. We all joined with them in oneness. As we trekked on, we discovered a tiny chair in a small cove left for the fairies. We left gifts for them too in gratitude, a coin, dragon crystal, and on top of the lichen above, an amethyst crystal. This was a little fairy village and a tree trunk right next door to it. As we came upon the large roots of the tree, I noticed a hole, or Merlin's eye, my friend John Springer calls it. The roots of the tree hold wisdom, and the Merlin's eye is a window into other dimensions. Lisa was holding Jackie's hand, and they both connected deeper together with this wonderful tree. As we strolled across the bridge, some could see the troll in the shadows standing behind the fern. Next to it, this photo had a lot of energy. I could see a group of nature beings looking at us and sending love. Amy went over to a trio of trees, which was a portal, and connected and was receiving their healing energy. As I looked down, I discovered a mushroom in the shape of a heart. It is one of the most common ways the nature beings show you they are around. As we came to this corridor of trees, we felt uneasiness. Several felt the trees were holding sadness in their DNA, and they needed help clearing it. So together we prayed in ceremony to bring healing to the trees. Diana looked down at her foot and discovered a root from a tree. She heard telepathically as she picked it up, "This is to affirm you have helped heal this land." Again, another F sign from the fairies. We had just called in the dragons to help us, and Jackie discovers a tree with dragon energy. She was delighted and took a photograph. As we turned the corner, we came to a clearing of trees that are very enchanted. Up high in the curved branch sits a cluster of elemental beings that live there. This photo was taken the first time I came into the forest, and as you can see, I enlarged the portion of the tree where the elementals exist. It is in the lower left corner. These next two photos are the back side of the tree where those elementals were tucked in that curved branch. Amy was called over to the tree next to it, and it told her, "Well, I don't get as much attention, but I would like to serve and give you my healing energy." How nice is that? Trees are so healing. This is a close-up of the same tree. Notice on the upper bark there are white frosted dots. That is a layer of fairy in the tree. The space between these two tree trunks is a portal, a gateway between dimensions. Carrie actually threw a stick in between them, and it disappeared into thin air right before all of our eyes. How magical! Oh, the bubbles. They are not just for kids. Carrie is blissful. The nature beings love when you feel joy. It really bridges your energy with theirs. Can you see how the fairies are moving in and out of the bubbles? As Carrie uses her bubble gun, they burst into the air like vertical dancing rainbow light rods. This photo is very magical. It reveals the rainbow layer of the fairy realm. Wendy in the red shirt is morphing into her essence of a gnome. Notice her nose and her ear are starting to change. Amazing! Amy was having fun playing with the bubbles, and this particular one was very enchanted. It stayed on the plastic wand for 10 minutes, and if you look close, you can see the fairies riding inside the ring of the bubble. Wow! The magic red mushroom. Carrie commented how the squirrels eat them and get a little dizzy. Diana was feeling all the joyful energy and decided to connect with a few trees. The bubbles tickled her and brought ecstasy. You could see the fairies just running all around her. Carrie could feel the heightened vibrations all around her in the forest. The milky blue layers toward the tops of the trees show the energy layers in the forest. This tree is on the right side. See the milky white portal right there? This tree has a white arrow pointing at an arch. Can you see it? It shows this archway it leads to a parallel dimension. Wow. Carrie, Wendy, and Jackie are all pausing and smiling. There's so much love and joy. We are just so grateful and thanking the trees. It's great to take a pause. We then all go over to the mother tree. We all come together in meditation and pray. We thank Creator, Gaia, Mother Earth, and all the support today from the many levels of spirit. After our prayers, Elisa sings a wonderful song, and we join in to bring ourselves back into the moment. There are some fairies in this tree. Can you see the golden arrow pointing at them? Amy really likes this tree. She spoke about how it felt like being in a mother's womb. Also, during the meditation, she was blowing bubbles again, but they immediately popped this time. It was a message from Spirit to stop and become one with the moment. Carrie then walked over to the grandfather spruce tree and was given a blessing. You can see her hand inside the middle of the tree. She said as she stepped out of the tree, the branches of the tree slowly and lovingly curled and embraced her. It was so magical. Wow. Lisa is in her receiving grace moment. How beautiful. Denise is very pleased with her visit and smiles with her walking stick she found on the earthen floor. Diana is feeling the love. I love being inside this tree. I didn't realize until after I came out and looked at the photo taken of me. There was an interesting lit pattern on the tree. I looked again and realized it was an upside down face. The elementals were showing their humor once again. There are more on the next photo too. Jackie shared a message about the grandfather tree. As she was receiving the endearing love energy of the grandfather tree, it spoke to her and said, "I represent all the grandfather energy of the planet. I am here to give you a fatherly healing of love." She commented that in this life she had never had the privilege to meet either of her grandfathers. What a very special moment of healing and love for her. Thank you, grandfather tree. Amy gathered some water in a small vial from the stream. She commented how alive it was and vibrated at a high frequency in her hand. The last part of our enchanted journey ended with the peaceful, rhythmic sounds of Grandmother Ocean. The totem pole was purchased by Carl Halverson, a land developer who wanted to honor the Siletz Native American tribes that had lived there in Depoe Bay, Oregon. One by one we sat and gave thanks to a wonderful day of enchantment and love. As we gathered rocks, agates, and shells on the sandy shore, we discovered signs of love from the spirits. They were inlaid with heart shapes. Oh, it was so magical. Carrie stood up and decided to give thanks for the divine experience of oneness she had encountered in the enchanted forest that day. As the sun set and the misty fog started to roll in, we all knew in unity we had created a new myth. It will forever live in our souls of knowing and enchanted wonderment. And so it is. Happy trails, my friend.